The lecture hall on Zelaris was vast and humming with quiet excitement. Tens of alien students from 100 worlds settled into their seats, shimmering holoscreens flickering faintly in the dimmed light. At the front stood Professor Rylus, a seasoned xenobiologist renowned for his controversial views on deathworlds, planets deemed too dangerous for most species to settle. Today's lesson was something special, a rare dive into Earth, the infamous Deathworld whose name sent shivers through even the most hardened cadets. A young alien with iridescent scales named Kirak raised his hand sharply, his eyes gleaming with skepticism. "Professor," he began, his voice clear and sharp, "why exactly is Earth called a death world? From the data we have, it looks no more dangerous than many other planets with harsh climates or predators." Murmurs spread across the classroom. Some students nodded, others exchanged doubtful glances. The professor's eyes twinkled with a mixture of amusement and challenge. "Ah, an excellent question," Rylus said, leaning forward. "Earth's reputation is a complicated one. It's more than just harsh weather or a few predators, but don't take my word for it. Today I'm going to show you something no one outside our academy has ever seen." He tapped his wrist pad, and the room darkened further. The hollow projector sparked to life above the stage, painting a massive, three-dimensional globe of Earth, spinning slowly against the void of space. Then the scene shifted. Detailed footage flooded the room, raw and unfiltered. At first it was like watching a wildlife documentary, but quickly it escalated. A towering beast with razor teeth lunged at a smaller animal, its jaws snapping shut, just inches from the camera. Next, a violent superstorm roared over a sprawling forest, uprooting trees and flooding valleys in minutes. Then came volcanic eruptions, rivers of molten lava flowing like liquid fire, turning the sky an angry red. "The why?" Students gasped, some leaning back as if the scenes threatened to spill into their seats. Kirak's jaw tightened. Others whispered nervously, "Is this really Earth?" A small, four-eyed creature named Lenka whispered, clutching her tablet tightly. "Exactly," said Rylus. "What you see here are only the surface dangers. What nature throws at any living thing trying to survive here." But then the footage took a turn. Against this backdrop of chaos appeared humans, not just hiding or running, but standing their ground. A group of naked, weak-looking humans battled a snarling pack of predators with sharpened sticks and stones. They screamed, fought with brutal determination, and, shockingly, drove the beasts away. The hollow shifted to a desert, where humans built crude shelters and fashioned weapons from scrap. Next, a primitive fire, carefully controlled, flickered against the dark. Kirak frowned, clearly struggling to process what he saw. "They look so fragile," he muttered. "How can such a delicate species survive in a world like that?" "Professor," Rylus smiled knowingly. "Fragility is a common misconception. That fragile species you see adapted in ways no other species in the galaxy has. Earth's dangers forced them to become masters of survival. They didn't just endure, they thrived because they learned to think, to cooperate, and to innovate." The hollow now shifted to scenes of early human tribes coordinating hunts, making tools, and building fire pits. The alien students watched, riveted as humans displayed raw emotion, fear, anger, joy, hope, all the while battling a relentless environment. A murmur of respect rippled through the room. Even Kirak seemed caught, off guard, his scales dulling slightly in contemplation. But then, a hand raised at the back, a tall insectoid student named Veshka. "If Earth is so dangerous," she said, "why hasn't any other species conquered it? Why is humanity still considered primitive by galactic standards?" A hush fell. Rylus's gaze sharpened. Because Earth's deathworld nature isn't just about danger. It's about what that danger produces. The answer is not in Earth's challenges. It's in the humans themselves. And that's a story worth understanding if you truly want to grasp why Earth is feared and respected. With a dramatic sweep of his arm, the hollow faded, leaving the spinning blue planet hanging silently in space. The room brimmed with anticipation, the students buzzing quietly, eager to uncover the truth behind Earth's fearsome reputation. The lesson was only just beginning. The spinning holographic globe of Earth still hung suspended in the darkness of the lecture hall when Professor Rylus gestured toward it, signaling the next phase of the lesson. Now, we dive. Deeper, he said, not just into the life forms that inhabit Earth, but into the unrelenting dangers that shape their existence. With a few swift commands, the hollow shifted to the surface, zooming in on a dense jungle. The soundscape changed too, filling the room with the cacophony of howling beasts, buzzing insects, and the distant roar of something far larger. The students leaned in. Many had never seen such raw, untamed wilderness displayed with such vividness. The scene froze on a close-up of a massive reptilian predator, scaly, muscular, and bearing dozens of dagger-like teeth. It stalked its prey with terrifying patience. Rylus, voice lowered. This is the Tyrannosaurus rex, an apex predator that dominated Earth's late Cretaceous period. Imagine a creature larger than any beast you've encountered, hunting not with advanced technology but sheer physical power and instinct. A murmur swept the room. Kirak's antenna twitched nervously. But the T-Rex is extinct, Lenka said, raising a tentacle in question. How can that be relevant to the humans who live there now? Excellent observation. Rylus nodded. The danger wasn't limited to a single era. Earth's environment evolved, but its threats remained relentless. Predators adapted, climates changed suddenly and violently, and diseases mutated with terrifying speed. The hollow flickered, transitioning to scenes of modern Earth's dangers. Crocodiles snapping at fishermen's nets, poisonous snakes coiling in dense underbrush, and swarms of locusts devastating crops. The students' eyes widened at the sheer variety and unpredictability of threats. Rylus then summoned images of natural disasters, a hurricane tearing through a coastal city, an earthquake swallowing streets whole, and a wildfire racing across dry forest lands. Earth's Deathworld status is reinforced by these events. No species can afford complacency. Every day is a battle against extinction. One student, a wiry amphibious being named Zira, swallowed hard. How do humans even survive such catastrophes? Surely many perish. Indeed they do, Rylus replied gravely. But that's part of what shapes them. Earth's populations have been thinned by countless disasters over millennia. Each catastrophe acts like a filter, allowing only the most adaptable and resilient to endure. He paused, letting the weight of the truth settle over the room. Then, suddenly, the hollow shifted again, this time to a microscopic scale revealing swarming viruses and bacteria invisible to the naked eye. Earth is also a battleground of unseen enemies, the professor explained. Diseases, parasites, and toxins constantly challenge life. Humans developed immune systems honed by exposure to these threats. Their bodies and cultures evolved, hand in hand to fight them. A few students visibly recoiled. The planet itself is a weapon, Kirak muttered under his breath, more to himself than anyone else. Rylus smiled softly. A weapon, yes, but also a forge. Earth's brutal environment is a crucible that forges strength. Suddenly, a ripple of unrest stirred in the class. Another student, a tall, armored cyborg named Kale, raised his hand. Professor, if Earth is so dangerous, why did humans choose to explore beyond their planet? Wouldn't it make more sense to stay within safer confines? Ah, Rylus said with a spark in his eye. That question gets to the heart of what makes humans unique. They don't just survive Earth, they fight to conquer it. Then they set their sights on the stars. The hollow projected a montage of human explorers, brave astronauts stepping onto barren moons, rugged colonists building outposts in frozen wastelands, scientists braving radioactive zones. These images contrasted starkly with the savage scenes moments before, highlighting a species bent not only on survival but expansion. The classroom buzzed with energy. It was as if the alien students had stumbled into a story more thrilling than any they had encountered. Lenka whispered to her neighbor. They don't just live in danger, they seek it out. Rylus nodded. Exactly. Humans are not mere survivors. They are fighters shaped by danger, And that fighting spirit is what terrifies and fascinates other species. But this is only the beginning of their story. He lowered his voice, leaning closer to the edge of the stage. If you think Earth's Deathworld conditions are harsh, wait until you learn what humanity faced and how they overcame it. The students leaned forward, hungry for more. The lesson had transformed from a simple explanation to a thrilling journey into the heart of survival and resilience. Outside, the spinning globe of Earth continued its silent revolution, holding its secrets tight as the classroom prepared to unlock them one by one. The hollow faded to black for a moment, then flickered back to life. This time the scene opened on a vast landscape bathed in twilight, a sprawling savanna dotted with flickering campfires. The camera zoomed in on a small band of humans huddled around the fire, their faces streaked with soot and sweat, eyes sharp and alert. Professor Rylas's voice cut through the quiet murmur of the students. What you're seeing is early humanity in the crucible of survival. Primitive, yes, but not powerless. The alien students leaned in as the scene unfolded. These humans were nothing like the advanced spacefarers the students had seen in other clips. They had no armor, no laser weapons, just rudimentary stone tools and sheer will. Yet they moved, with purpose, eyes scanning the shadows for predators lurking just beyond the firelight. Kirak shifted in his seat, his jaw tight. How do they fight off creatures larger and stronger? Their bodies look so vulnerable. That vulnerability is deceptive, Rylas explained. Humans rely on intelligence, cooperation, and relentless innovation. The hollow zoomed closer to reveal a tense moment. A massive saber-toothed tiger prowled near the fire. The humans grabbed sharpened sticks, forming a tight circle. The leader shouted a low, guttural warning, and with a coordinated charge, they drove the beast away. You see, the professor continued, humans are not the fastest or the strongest, but they compensate with strategy and teamwork. Unlike many species that rely on instinct alone, humans learned to plan, communicate, and adapt their tactics. Lenka whispered, they fight like a single organism. Rylas nodded. Exactly. Cooperation is their greatest weapon. Over generations, this behavior evolved into complex social structures, tribes, communities, eventually civilizations. The hollow shifted again, showing the evolution of tools, crude stone axes giving way to spears tipped with bone, then the discovery of fire. Flames crackled to life, illuminating faces filled with wonder and determination. Fire, Rylas said, was the first great human weapon. It drove away predators, warmed their shelters, and transformed their diet. Controlling fire marked a turning point. Humans turned from prey into hunters, from victims to masters of their environment. A ripple of awe passed through the students, but Rylas wasn't finished. More than physical tools, humans developed another survival mechanism: culture, language, art, rituals. These bound them together, preserved knowledge, and fostered innovation. The hollow displayed cave paintings, early sculptures, and communal ceremonies, symbols of emerging human identity. Each generation built upon the last's lessons, accelerating progress in a way few species can match. Kirak's skepticism began to waver. But what about their bodies? Many of their bones show injuries and illnesses. Surely they are fragile compared to our species? The professor smiled. Their fragility was a challenge, yes, but also a driver of evolution. Humans evolved remarkable healing capabilities and immune systems. Their bodies learned to cope with pain, injury, and disease because the cost of failure was extinction. He paused, then added quietly, they endured famine, plague, war. Every hardship tested them, and they adapted. The hollow then showed humans enduring harsh winters, crossing deserts, and sailing turbulent seas. One clip captured a human climbing a jagged mountain peak in near-freezing conditions, their breath visible in the icy air. Zira's wide eyes reflected admiration. They don't just survive, they conquer their environment. Indeed, Rylas agreed. And this conquest wasn't passive. Humans transformed Earth itself, clearing forests, domesticating animals, cultivating crops. They reshaped the planet in their image. Suddenly, the Hollow displayed something unexpected. Humans fighting amongst themselves. Tribal warfare, territorial disputes, battles marked by cunning strategies and fierce determination. Conflict, Rylus said, is another element of their survival. It honed their skills in combat, diplomacy, and resilience. Humans learned that survival often meant overcoming not only nature's dangers but their own. A heavy silence fell over the classroom as the students absorbed this complex portrait. Kyle finally spoke, voice low. So despite their physical weaknesses, humans became dangerous because of their mind, their will, and their society. Precisely, Rylus said, leaning forward. Earth's Deathworld shaped humans into a paradox, fragile yet fierce, vulnerable yet unstoppable. Their survival is a testament to adaptability on every level. He looked around the room. And this is why many species hesitate when encountering humans in the galaxy, not because of raw power, but because humans are unpredictable, driven by a survival instinct that refuses to quit. The Hollow faded, leaving Earth's image glowing softly in the darkness. Rylus's voice softened. Remember, the story of humans is not just about enduring dangers, it's about mastering them. And what you've seen today is only the beginning. The students sat in thoughtful silence, their understanding deepened but curiosity burning brighter than ever. The Hollow shifted once more, now displaying a dizzying montage of human inventions spanning centuries, from primitive stone tools to metal blades, from fire pits to the first wheels. Professor Rylus's voice filled the room with reverence. If survival was humanity's first lesson, ingenuity was their greatest weapon. The students watched, captivated, as humans were, shown tinkering with early machines, levers, pulleys, and eventually complex contraptions like the catapult. Each invention was a small victory over Earth's deadly challenges. Unlike many species that rely solely on physical strength or natural defenses, humans innovate, Rylus explained. They manipulate their environment to create advantages. Where they lack raw power, Lenka leaned forward, her four eyes wide with fascination. But how did they develop such advanced technology without advanced tools or knowledge to begin with? That is the marvel, said Rylus. Humans learned by trial and error, observation, and most importantly, sharing knowledge. Their language and culture accelerated the pace of innovation. The Hollow zoomed in on an ancient human village where elders passed down skills and stories to eager children. Fires flickered in the night as knowledge transcended generations. Learning became their legacy, Rylus continued. Every failure was a lesson, every discovery a foundation. Suddenly, the footage shifted to a dangerous scene, early humans crafting spears and traps to hunt faster and deadlier prey. The students gasped at the precision and teamwork displayed. Kirak's eyes gleamed with new respect. So, it's not just survival instincts, it's creativity and cooperation combined? Exactly, Rylus said. Humans thrived because they could imagine solutions others couldn't. They turned the hostile wilderness into a playground for innovation. The Hollow then revealed the next leap, humans mastering fire not just for warmth and defense, but also for cooking, transforming their diets and bodies. Scientists in the class whispered excitedly, knowing the impact of this discovery. Cooking food made nutrients more accessible, Rylus said. It fueled brain growth, improving cognition and problem-solving abilities. The students exchanged looks. The evolutionary dominoes were falling into place. The scene shifted to early human settlements, simple huts becoming villages, then cities. Humans crafted irrigation systems, domesticated animals, and developed agriculture. They transformed Earth's Deathworld landscapes into fertile grounds for civilization. Veshka, the insectoid student, raised a claw. How did they protect their creations? The wild still posed grave dangers. Rylus smiled knowingly. By inventing defense, walls, weapons, armies, humans learned to organize, govern, and strategize on scales few species achieve. Their social structures became as vital as their tools. He tapped his wrist pad. The Hollow exploded with scenes of historic battles. Humans wielding spears, swords, laser guns, and explosives. fighting both nature and each other to control resources. But, Rylus added, human ingenuity wasn't limited to conflict. It extended into medicine, science, and art. They sought to understand their world, heal their wounds, and express their experiences. A new sequence revealed ancient healers experimenting with herbs and rudimentary surgeries, later evolving into advanced medical technologies capable of curing diseases and repairing injuries. Humans fight not only with weapons but with knowledge, Rylus said gravely. Every advancement in medicine increased their resilience to Earth's deadly pathogens. Kale nodded slowly. So, their survival is not brute force, but constant innovation? Yes, Rylus confirmed. The very challenges that threaten them spark creativity and adaptation. This cycle has driven humanity's evolution for millennia. The classroom was silent for a moment, absorbing the weight of this truth. Then the hollow shifted again, this time to modern human endeavors. Skyscrapers piercing the sky, satellites orbiting Earth, robots exploring the ocean depths and distant planets. Humans never stop pushing boundaries, Rylus said. They turn every challenge into an opportunity to grow stronger. Lenka whispered, they're like a living engine, powered by curiosity and resilience. Rylus nodded. And it is this relentless drive that makes Earth's Deathworld, status less a curse, more a forge. In this crucible, humans became masters of their fate. Chirac finally spoke, his voice tinged with awe. I always thought Earth was just dangerous, but it's more than that. It's a catalyst. Rylus smiled. Precisely. Danger breeds ingenuity, and ingenuity breeds survival. He looked around the room, eyes gleaming with anticipation. But this story does not end here. Human ingenuity would soon be tested by threats beyond Earth itself, threats that would shock even the most seasoned explorers. The students leaned in, eager for what came next. As the hologram of Earth's glowing continent slowly rotated, the classroom buzzed with a newfound respect for humanity, a species forged by peril, driven by invention, and destined to challenge the universe. The holographic Earth shimmered softly in the lecture hall as Professor Rylus clicked to the next sequence. The classroom fell silent, every alien eye fixed on the sprawling images of human tenacity battling nature's fury. Now, Rylus said, we move beyond survival and ingenuity to something deeper, humans confronting the very elements themselves. The hollow zoomed into a raging flood sweeping through a dense human settlement. Torrential rains lashed down, rivers burst their banks, and terrified crowds scrambled to higher ground. The camera caught glimpses of frantic hands pulling loved ones from the floodwaters, others securing makeshift barriers of sandbags and debris. A tall, blue-skinned student named Krill gasped, "Why don't they just evacuate?" Rylus shook his head. Because Earth's hazards are unpredictable and relentless, retreat isn't always an option. Humans build defenses, adapt, and endure. Their commitment to their homes and communities drives them to face disaster head-on. The Sci-Fi scene changed to a human team braving an erupting volcano. Molten lava hissed dangerously close as scientists and firefighters coordinated efforts to divert flows and rescue trapped villagers. Risking death to protect others, Lenka whispered, her tentacles twitching in awe. Precisely, Rylus said. Humans possess a unique blend of courage and stubbornness. They accept danger as part of life and meet it with extraordinary resolve. The hollow then switched to a frozen tundra, where explorers struggled through blizzards and sub-zero temperatures. Bundled in layers of insulating fabric, they pressed on, their breaths crystallizing in the frigid air. A drone hovered overhead, mapping the shifting ice. Many species would avoid such hostile places altogether, Rylus noted. Humans seek out the extremes, driven by curiosity, necessity, or sheer will. Chirac's eyes narrowed thoughtfully. Is this recklessness or survival instinct? Both, Rylus admitted, but it's also a test of endurance and adaptability. They innovate specialized tools and techniques for every environment. Snow goggles, heated shelters, insulated suits, each invention born of necessity. The hollow flickered to scenes of desert caravans crossing scorching dunes, their faces wrapped against biting sandstorms, and engineers developing irrigation Systems to turn wastelands into farms. Earth's elements are relentless enemies, Rylus said, but humans refuse to be defeated. Instead, they transform adversity into opportunity. A ripple of whispers spread as the hollow projected scenes of earthquakes toppling buildings and humans rushing to rescue survivors amid the rubble. Emergency crews coordinated with precision, helicopters flying into chaos to deliver aid. Kale raised his hand. But surely many perish in these disasters. Tragically, yes, Rylus replied somberly. Earth's deathworld nature exacts a toll. But with each tragedy comes resilience. Communities rebuild stronger, technology improves, and knowledge grows. He pressed a button, revealing a network of satellite systems and early warning alerts circling Earth. Humans created complex warning systems, predictive models, and coordinated disaster responses. Their capacity for learning from catastrophe is unparalleled. The students watched a harrowing video of a city preparing for an imminent hurricane. Evacuations, stockpiling supplies, and emergency shelters in action. This isn't just survival, Rylus said. It's defiance. The Hollow then focused on the ocean, where humans built deep-sea research stations to explore crushing depths. Underwater drones sent back breathtaking footage of bioluminescent creatures and volcanic vents. Zyra's eyes shone. They conquer even the ocean's mysteries. Rylus nodded. Indeed, humans see Earth's extremes as challenges to overcome, not barriers to fear. The professor lowered his voice, and the classroom leaned in. But Earth's most dangerous elements are often invisible, the microscopic threats of disease, toxins, and mutations. The Hollow shifted to glowing images of viruses attacking cells, bacteria spreading infections, and humans developing vaccines in sterile labs. Humans fight these invisible enemies with science and medicine, Rylus said. Their resilience is biological as much as cultural. Kirak's skepticism finally gave way to reluctant admiration. They are relentless. Rylus smiled. That relentlessness is born of necessity. Earth's deathworld conditions forged not only bodies and minds but wills that refuse to break. The classroom was silent as the students absorbed the enormity of the struggle, the constant battle humans wage against a world intent on destruction. Then, the Hollow shifted to a striking final scene. Humans standing united after disaster, hands joined in solidarity, rebuilding homes and hope from the ruins. Rylus concluded, "This is humanity's greatest strength, their unyielding spirit. They face the elements, the predators, and the unseen horrors with fierce determination. And that spirit carries them beyond Earth into the stars." The spinning globe dimmed, leaving the room bathed in quiet reflection. The students were no longer skeptical. They were humbled. Lenka broke the silence softly. Earth may be a death world, but it is also a crucible. Rylus nodded. Exactly. And this crucible has shaped one of the most extraordinary species in the galaxy. The class sat forward, eager for the next chapter, the hidden dangers beyond nature, threats from the stars themselves, and how humans fought those too. The classroom lights dimmed as Professor Rylus initiated the next segment of the lesson. The holographic Earth faded into darkness, then flared into a stark image of the night sky peppered with stars. Suddenly, a streak of light tore across the heavens, a spacecraft entering Earth's atmosphere. The next chapter in humanity's story brings us beyond Earth's natural dangers, Rylus began, to threats that emerged from the cold void of space. The students leaned forward, eyes reflecting the brilliant flash. This, Rylus said, was humanity's first contact with an alien species. Not a friendly greeting, but a battle for survival. The Hollow shifted to archival footage of the initial encounter. Glowing ships, terrifying in their advanced technology, descending upon Earth's cities with destructive force. Explosions rocked metropolises, skies filled with streaking missiles, and chaos erupted. Krill's antennae twitched nervously. Why attack immediately? Was Earth's danger not enough? Rylus nodded grimly. No planet, No species can thrive without rivals. Earth's bounty and humans' resilience made them targets. The Hollow showed humans scrambling to defend themselves, fighter jets launching, missile batteries firing, civilians evacuating. But the alien forces were far superior in firepower and technology. Humanity was unprepared, Rylus admitted. Their technology was nascent compared to their invaders. But what the aliens underestimated was the human spirit. The classroom's tension thickened as the Hollow played footage of humans organizing rapid resistance movements. Engineers repurposing civilian tech into weapons, scientists working feverishly to understand alien technology, soldiers coordinating guerrilla tactics. Kirak's eyes flashed with disbelief. They stood a chance against such overwhelming power? Rylus smiled knowingly. Not at first. The casualties were devastating. Entire cities were lost. But humans adapted quickly. A sequence showed human researchers reverse engineering alien tech. Small victories as humans began to mount counterattacks using their ingenuity. Humans learned to fight on their terms, Rylus said. They exploited the environment, developed new strategies, and rallied like never before. The Hollow zoomed to a tense battle on the outskirts of a ruined city, where humans employed homemade explosives and ambush tactics against alien patrols. Lenka whispered, "Their resilience isn't just physical or technological, it's tactical." Indeed, Rylus agreed. Humans do not surrender easily. Their history of surviving Earth's Deathworld conditions prepared them for this. Suddenly, the Hollow switched to show civilians assisting in the war effort. Women, children, elders contributing knowledge, medicine, and morale. The alien invaders had not anticipated a population united in defiance. Zaira's voice was awed. A species fighting with every part of itself. Rylus nodded solemnly. That unity was crucial. It forged alliances, accelerated innovation, and sparked a global resistance. The Hollow then presented the turning point. Humans developing an EMP device that disabled a major alien warship, a crucial blow that galvanized the defenders. Kale's expression was serious. But did humans ultimately prevail? That victory came at great cost, Rylus said. Earth was scarred, cities leveled, millions lost. But humanity endured. Their tenacity turned the tide. The classroom sat in stunned silence as the Hollow showed images of rebuilding, monuments to the fallen, and cautious peace talks initiated with surviving alien factions. Rylus leaned forward. This war tested humanity like no other. It revealed their true nature, not just survivors, but warriors and innovators capable of facing the universe's deadliest threats. The Hollow faded into an image of Earth's scarred surface, dotted with new defensive installations and early space defenses. Earth remained a death world, Rylus concluded, but now one that had fought off the stars themselves. The students absorbed this grim yet inspiring lesson. The story of Earth was no longer just about survival against nature. It was a saga of defiance against cosmic dangers. Lenka murmured, "Humans are remarkable." Yes, Rylus agreed. They are a species born of hardship, forged in the fires of survival and tempered in the crucible of war. A species other worlds must reckon with. As the Hollow dimmed, the professor's final words echoed through the room. And yet, their story is far from over. The galaxy watches them with wary eyes, knowing that Earth's death world bred not just survivors, but something far more dangerous. The students sat back, eyes wide with a mixture of awe and apprehension, ready to learn the final truths about humanity's place in the cosmos. The holographic Earth faded into a vast star field as Professor Rylus began the next chapter. The classroom hummed with anticipation. The story of humanity had captivated them all. After surviving Earth's brutal environment and fending off an alien invasion, humanity faced a new challenge. The vastness of space itself, Rylus said, voice steady. Their next step was not just to survive, but to thrive beyond their homeworld. The Hollow flickered to scenes of rocket launches, early space stations, and human colonies growing on the Moon and Mars. The alien students watched as humans pushed the limits of technology and endurance. Lenka tilted her head. How did they manage such rapid expansion? Their history shows destruction and hardship. Rylus smiled. It was their greatest strength, their adaptability combined with an insatiable curiosity. The same will that made them survive Deathworld conditions now drove them to conquer space. The Hollow zoomed into a bustling spaceport orbiting Earth, where sleek starships prepared for long journeys. Engineers and explorers worked side by side, a testament to human cooperation. Humanity's early steps beyond Earth were cautious but deliberate, Rylus explained. They learned to terraform planets, build self-sustaining habitats, and develop faster than light travel. Kirak raised a claw. Did other species welcome humans into the galactic community after the war? Not immediately, Rylus admitted. Many were wary. Earth's history of violence and resilience made humans unpredictable. But over time, alliances formed, trade routes opened, and cultures intertwined. The Hollow showed images of human diplomats negotiating with alien leaders, sharing knowledge and forging treaties. But humans never forgot their origins, Rylus said, voice growing solemn. Their Deathworld legacy shaped their politics, culture, and identity. They remained vigilant, knowing threats lurked in the shadows. The students watched a montage of human fleets patrolling borders, scientists scanning for dangers, and special forces training for covert operations, Zyra murmured. They became guardians as well as explorers. Exactly, Rylus said. Earth taught them survival, but the galaxy demanded more. Humans became defenders, willing to fight for their homes and allies. The Hollow shifted to a historic battle in a distant star system, where human ships coordinated with alien allies to repel a hostile invasion. Humans' tactical ingenuity and refusal to surrender turned the tide, Rylus explained. Their reputation grew, no longer just Earthlings but a force to be reckoned with. Kyle nodded thoughtfully. But what of their culture? Did Earth's harshness influence their arts and philosophies? Rylus's eyes twinkled. Indeed. Their stories are filled with themes of endurance, hope, and unity. Music, literature, and art reflect a species that faced extinction and chose to fight, to love, and to build. The Hollow displayed holograms of human art, sculptures forged from recovered battle wreckage, songs inspired by survival, and festivals celebrating resilience. Lenka's voice softened. They honor their past but look to the future. Precisely, Rylus said. Humanity's greatest legacy is their refusal to be defined by suffering alone. They transformed their Deathworld scars into symbols of strength. The classroom was silent, the weight of the story settling deeply. Rylus concluded, Today, humans are leaders and innovators in the galaxy, driven by the very traits that made Earth a Deathworld: resilience, ingenuity, and an unbreakable spirit. He paused, then smiled warmly. Remember this, for when you encounter humans in the stars, you meet a species shaped by fire and ice, war and peace, despair and hope. They are living proof that even the harshest worlds can give rise to legends. The Hollow dimmed, leaving the classroom bathed in the soft glow of distant stars. The hollow of Earth's swirling blue-green atmosphere slowly faded as the lecture hall settled into a quiet hush. Professor Rylus's voice carried the weight of finality and awe. Throughout our journey, we have seen why Earth earned the dreaded title of Deathworld. But more importantly, we've witnessed how it forged one of the most remarkable species known to the galaxy. The alien students, still absorbing the story, exchanged thoughtful glances. The journey from fragile survival to galactic prominence felt almost mythic. Lenka broke the silence. I once believed Earth's dangers were curses. Now I see they were crucibles. Rylus nodded approvingly. Exactly. The hazards humanity endured, hostile fauna, brutal environments, alien invaders, were catalysts for evolution, innovation, and spirit. The Hollow now displayed a montage of Earth's landscapes. Dense jungles pulsing with unseen threats, vast deserts whispering ancient secrets, icy tundras where only the toughest endured. Humans did not merely survive Earth, they adapted, transformed, and transcended it, Rylus continued. Their resilience became a beacon across the stars. Kirok's voice was filled with newfound respect. They embody what it means to never surrender, no matter the odds. And that is why, Rylus said, other species both fear and admire humanity. They are unpredictable, driven by curiosity and fierce loyalty to their home and kin. The holo shifted to images of humans and aliens working side by side, sharing technologies, cultures, and hopes. The galaxy was vast and dangerous, but humanity's spirit lit a path forward. Zyra asked softly, "Do humans ever forget their Deathworld roots?" "Never," Rylus replied. "Their history is taught as a sacred legacy. It reminds them that peace is fragile and survival requires constant vigilance and innovation." The students sat back, reflecting on the profound lesson. Lenka smiled, wistfully. Earth was not a curse but a forge of legends. Rylus's gaze swept across the room. Indeed. The Deathworld label is a warning and a testament. It tells us that from unimaginable hardship can emerge strength beyond imagining. He tapped a control and the holo zoomed out to reveal Earth shining brightly among countless stars. "Remember this when you meet humans," Rylus concluded. "They are a species born from struggle, sculpted by fire and ice, and destined to shape the galaxy's future." The bell chimed softly, signaling the end of class. The students rose, their minds buzzing with awe and inspiration. As they filed out, Lenka paused by the window, looking up at the distant stars. "Perhaps Earth's Deathworld is not a curse after all," she murmured, "but a gift. A harsh teacher that created legends." Outside, the night sky sparkled, the same one humans had gazed upon for millennia, reminding all who looked up that even in the darkest places, light and hope endure.